Yo, this story only gets crazier and crazier as the time keeps going. Because it started off with a random alert that I got from ESPN. Mark Sanchez was stabbed in Indianapolis. I was like, nah, they bugging out right now. The Colts is bugging out. You guys know that's my favorite team. Daniel Jones got the city acting crazy. They got get back for what happened in 2011 in the wild card game. If y'all remember, y'all remember. But then we find out that the story is actually a little bit deeper. And it was an altercation that between Mark Sanchez and a guy that was delivering food in a truck. And I was so confused. I feel like the world is still so confused because we haven't got all the information. But we will go over what we've heard so far related to this crazy story. Subscribe to the channel, guys. We're on that road to 20,000 subscribers. The algorithm and us been beefing a little bit lately because we just coming off of something on the channel. We good now though. So I gotta build it back up the algorithm. Sub up, like this video, comment down below. Let me know anything I might have missed in this video that you know about the situation. So we see a post from the Indianapolis police explaining that a stabbing happened in downtown, and we find out that it's Mark Sanchez, the person involved, but we don't know nothing else that happened between him and the other guy yet. Still a little bit confused of what actually happened. So the statement reads, an overnight stabbing, IMPD is investigating a physical disturbance that happened near Senate Avenue and West Washington Street on October 4th, 2025, around 12:30 a.m. The incident involved two adult males, resulting in one man receiving lacerations and the other sustaining injuries consistent with stab wounds. Detectives believe that this was an isolated incident between the two men and not a random act of violence. Both individuals, who are not local residents, have been identified. IMPD aggravated assault detectives are continuing the investigation and have reviewed video footage of the incident. Both men received medical treatment, and the man with the apparent stab wounds remains hospitalized in stable condition. The case will be presented to the Marion County Prosecutor's Office for a charging decision. It is the practice of the MIPD Public Affairs Office to not identify victims or suspects in identity in incidents unless the suspect is arrested, charged, or being sought. So at the moment when we first heard this, I instantly thought Mark Sanchez was the victim. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Somebody just ran up to him when I read this. Like, what's going on? Then we see a bit more information from the news, and they show the other guy's face. I can't even show that picture too clear on my channel. Y'all gonna have to go look that up in the internet. The news shows it a bit, but I'm gonna have to blur it out. Cause bro, it was crazy. They gave him $150.
TMZ released images of the 38-year-old Fox Sports analyst being put into an ambulance and his alleged victim, 69-year-old Perry Toll, being wheeled on a gurney with a towel wrapped around his head. Toll's family later released these pictures of his injuries.
The probable cause outlines.
They gave him $150 like he was in New York in '97 beefing with Big Pun and them. No shots at Cuban Link. I wasn't thinking about Cuban Link either when I was saying that because he wasn't beefing with Big Pun. But they gave him the Cuban Link, bro. They gave him the Cuban Link. If you guys know Terror Squad stories, go look him up. But they gave him $150. This shit ain't funny. That's crazy. The Spanish guy in Mark Sanchez really came out. So then I'm confused because we see also footage of, we see Sanchez like stumbling down the street with blood coming on his shirt. And then a guy at a bar ends up saving his life, which we saw. That was already crazy enough.
I'm Aaliyah Blackburn.
And I'm Howard Monroe. Bob and Chelsea are off tonight. Sanchez now faces a felony charge and a civil lawsuit for a fight that resulted in him being stabbed.
CBS 4's Russ McQuaid starts our team coverage tonight with an update on the criminal case.
In this case, the pictures tell the story, and slowly more visual images of the Mark Sanchez knife fight downtown are coming out and having an impact on how the prosecutor has charged the ex-NFL quarterback. New today, surveillance video obtained by the New York Post showing a blood-soaked Sanchez staggering up the 300 block of West Washington Street early Saturday morning after he was stabbed in this alley by a driver who said Sanchez attacked him because of where he parked his truck. "This guy is trying to kill me," the driver remembers thinking as he said Sanchez pummeled him as he lay on the ground wedged in between a dumpster and wooden pallets, and the man told police he, quote, struck Sanchez 2 or 3 times with a knife. The next thing the man knew was Mr. Sanchez looked at him with a look of shock. He slowly turned around, and Mr. Sanchez took off northbound in the alley. That's Sanchez coming out of that alley and staggering for help. An investigator said he asked Sanchez what happened, and all he could remember was grabbing for a window. This is the window on Loft-Miller's Pub and Eatery. Those are Sanchez's handprints, and this is the bartender who helped save his life.
Brought him inside, laid him down, and we called 911, put towels over the injuries that he had.
These are the other images from the weekend. The man who fought with Sanchez, hospitalized with a deep cut to the face, and his account that led to the prosecutor filing a felony against Sanchez. Quote, when asked to rate his pain on a scale of 10, the man stated it eventually reached a 10. Sanchez was in town to cover the Colts-Raiders game for Fox Sports, and now investigators will attempt to find out where he had been in the hours before the fight and with whom, and if he'd been drinking, because the truck driver said, quote, Sanchez smelled of alcohol and his speech was slurred.
In a case like this, one of the things that you are considering is where people are coming from, where were people going, what were they doing, and then once individuals receive medical care, we're obviously very interested in what those medical records look like, because they can a lot of times give us greater insight into what was going on that day and potentially provide some information into an individual's state of mind.
Indiana is a constitutional carry state that gives wide latitude to self-defense and the use of guns if necessary to defend oneself, leaving Mark Sanchez fortunate he's still alive to fight for his life and his innocence in court.
We're lucky that no one's dead right now as a result of this incident that involved a knife, but certainly more people have guns, and we have to be mindful of that as we start and deal with conflict in our community.
Sanchez has engaged noted Indianapolis defense attorney James Voiles as his initial court hearing has been postponed, but he has a pretrial hearing in early November, and his status with Fox Sports is yet unresolved. In the studio, Russ McQuaid, CBS 4 News.
Russ, thank you. And as we mentioned, the 69-year-old victim.
But what I saw next was insane. That Mark Sanchez was charged with a couple misdemeanors, right? That's the first thing I see. Mark Sanchez was charged with a couple different misdemeanors. Because then we get a bit more information and we see the guy that he attacked was 69 years old. And this all happened over a parking space. This all happened over a parking space. Definitely not worth it. I guess the guy was making a delivery and Mark Sanchez comes stumbling down the street because they were saying he was acting a bit erratic. This is all alleged. We wasn't there, but this is stuff that we are hearing. He tells the delivery guy he can't park in the alley. Who are you? What are you, working for Fox during the weekdays and on the weekends you chilling and helping out with the parking over at this local bar or restaurant? What's going on? Who's Mark Sanchez? Tell me where I can and can't park. And I guess that's where it gets a bit crazy and they start, going at it. Allegedly, the guy also tried to use pepper spray at first, and it just enraged Mark Sanchez, who kept coming, and then he gets stabbed. This is all coming from the victim. We don't know what side is correct yet, but allegedly he gets stabbed, and that's when we see him in the surveillance camera stumbling down the street, gets brought into the bar and saved.
Police have arrested former NFL quarterback and Fox television analyst Mark Sanchez after sources tell us he attacked a 69-year-old man in downtown Indianapolis overnight. Well, that victim fought back and stabbed Sanchez in the chest. This all happened at a bar just across the street from the Indiana State House. CBS 4's Gabriela Mirando is near that bar where it happened and breaks down what we know tonight.
Sanchez was in town to broadcast the Colts versus Raiders game tomorrow with Fox Sports. Police say they were called to this pub along Washington Street a little after midnight and found Sanchez stabbed in the chest and another man badly cut. A trail of blood in front of Pronta Pizza shows how the altercation ended in this alley.
A customer actually brought it to my attention.
Our sources tell us the 69-year-old man who stabbed Sanchez told police he was making a food delivery when Sanchez told him he couldn't park in the alley. That delivery driver claims Sanchez then started following him and making threats before attacking him. He says he first used pepper spray against Sanchez, and when that wasn't effective, used a knife to defend himself.
I was stunned. I really couldn't believe, especially here, why would you get in trouble like that here?
Sources say the driver had significant injuries to his face. Sanchez was taken to a local hospital in critical condition and was rushed into surgery. Police say he is now stable.
It's just unfortunate that these type of things are happening in Indianapolis, and specifically such a beautiful downtown area. We have conventions, we have people that visit from outside of the state, and that, what an impression that's going to leave on folks, that visit Indianapolis.
Sanchez was arrested for 3 misdemeanors: battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication. Sources say the arrest was based on account of the driver and surveillance video that shows Sanchez acting erratic before the assault.
I hope no one's hurt long term. I feel sorry for Mark Sanchez, I mean, this is a career ender. Hopefully, too, it's a hard lesson to learn from. Hopefully he will learn something from this. We got to conduct ourselves right all the time. You can't take a day off. You have to be a good person all the time.
IMPD says Sanchez is still recovering and is yet to be booked into jail. There are several security cameras in this alley. I've reached out to the landlord of this building behind me, but have yet to hear back about any surveillance video. We're staying on top of this and we'll keep you updated as we learn more. Reporting downtown, Gabriela Mirando, CBS 4 News.
A lot to unpack there, Gabriella. Thank you. Well, in a statement this evening, Mayor Joe Hogshead said the city takes pride in being a destination, but went on to say, quote, "It's important that everyone who visits or enjoys our community does so respectfully and peacefully." There's a lot of details in this story, a lot of exclusive reporting that we have done here at CBS 4. We'll continue to follow this. You can find our full story, what we know right now, at CBS4Indy.com.
He ends up getting arrested because those misdemeanor charges end up getting pushed to felony charges. And he gets arrested. He's still not transported to jail because he still is recovering in the hospital. But what was crazy to me, that he's still recovering in the hospital and was brought to like urgent surgery and all that to save his life. He's under like critical condition. But the old man that was 69 years old, we saw that crazy picture of his face and like the $150 on the side of his face with the slash and all that. He's already out. His legal team says he's still recovering, which we know that's exactly what they're gonna say. But after, I don't even think they cap it. After what we saw in those pictures, a 69-year-old man versus an ex-NFL player is kind of crazy. But we are hearing that he already left the hospital and he's home recovering. But they're going after Mark Sanchez legally. So not only criminally with 5 felonies, they're also coming at him legally as well, like a civil charge.
And so, I mean, that's the best way to put it. You know, the pictures really show the degree of harm that Perry suffered as a result of this attack. You know, he's recovering. His wife likewise is recovering. You know, it's a heck of a thing to get that call in the middle of the night that a loved one or a spouse has been injured in a violent attack. And, you know, she got that call. And so she's recovering as well. I mean, this has been a heck of an ordeal for the entire family. And he's released from the hospital, recovering and hopeful that he'll regain function to, you know, his ability to speak. You know, right now he's having a real difficult time communicating because of the large gash on his face that affected his jaw, tongue, and mouth. So he's just at home resting, but we expect further medical treatment and ongoing treatment for him well into the future. I don't think you know the full extent of it. You know, anytime you get injured like this, I think it's obviously his body's going to be in shock for some time, and we're going to figure out the extent of his injuries. But he can speak right now, but it's just so slurred and so labored for him just because of all the trauma to his mouth and cheek. So, you know, we'll see, but certainly the physical injuries are self-evident. The scarring is self-evident. You know, the psychological injuries of having to go through something like that and live with it, you know, I mean, that's going to be something we'll have to wait and see. But certainly right now, I think it's too early to tell what his long-term prognosis is going to be. But, you know, we're hopeful. He's out right now. He's back with his wife, and I think they're just glad to be alive.
I think the majority of it is just the optics of it, right? He sees a big, large man acting irrationally, doing things that one probably shouldn't be doing, climbing into his vehicle. So sure, he was scared. And then when someone puts their hands on you that's that big, that too can be intimidating and can put one in fear for their safety. So I think, you know, going back in hindsight, it was multiple things. But just this year, I'm here doing my job, minding my own business, to now I'm being confronted by an individual that is significantly bigger than me. I don't know who this individual is, and now they are putting their hands on me and climbing in my car. I think when you add all of those things up, one would be fearful of their life, or at least that something bad could happen to them.
We're happy and very pleased with how the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, IMPD, have handled this. I mean, it's remarkable how thorough their investigation has been and how responsive they've been to Perry, and we appreciate that. And obviously, that's one track to this. The other track is on the civil side, and we will be pursuing a claim on behalf of Perry against Mr. Sanchez and anyone else who might be liable. for the harm. And
this is gonna get crazy. The more information we continue to hear, the more we will share. Before we get out of here, there's one thing that I did want to share with you guys. Mark Sanchez's family finally breaks silence. I thought they were gonna say his side of the story. I really haven't heard Mark Sanchez explain anything yet, and I'm assuming that's coming from his legal team, which is probably the smartest thing to do right now. Just stay quiet, let them handle it. But his family did speak out. The Sanchez family finally breaks its silence and tells us a bit more of how Mark Sanchez is doing. And what they tell us, shared by TMZ, is this has been a deeply distressing time for everyone involved. Mark and our family are incredibly grateful for the concern, love, and support we received over the past few days. Mark's brother, Nick, said in a statement to TMZ Sports, Mark remains under critical care for the serious injuries he sustained and focused on his recovery. As the legal process continues, we would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the first responders and medical staff. Yeah, that was crazy. And again, TMZ also did release that photo of Mark Sanchez getting brought into the ambulance. But a lot more is going to come out about this. We're still wondering, was it really over a parking spot? Did he really tell the guy he couldn't park there? Who was he drinking with? Who was he downtown with that day in Indianapolis? Allegedly, he was there to cover the game for Fox Sports, for the Colts. So there's still a lot more questions and stuff that needs to be investigated on what's going to happen further with this. But this doesn't look good for Mark Sanchez. I'm not going to lie to you. This shit looks crazy. And oh my God, this could be terrible for him. The more information we continue to hear about this, the more I will continue to update you guys. But any information I might have missed, please let me know down below.